Hey there, as promised, I was coming back with part two of our discussion of who, not how. So, when we spoke last, if you haven't, catch that one, I'll definitely try to put the link in the notes so you can go back and check that one out. And we started talking about the importance of freedom of time and freedom of money, and how oftentimes we try to go for that freedom of money before we've actually conquered freedom of time. See, the thing about it is the time is what creates the money. So you can't have freedom of money until you have already conquered, achieved freedom of time. And typically, how that freedom of time comes about for many of us in business is we invest in who's. We invest in others who can help us by taking tasks off of our plate that are not high value activities so that we aren't engaging in those activities which have a low return on investment, and we are finding ourselves engaging in higher value activities which have a what? Higher return on investment. So freeing up your time actually allows you to make more money. I'll say that again. Freeing up your time actually allows you to make more money, because that investment, once again, is giving you time that, if we're honest, it's a precious commodity, isn't it? Time. So being able to use that time to focus on, say, if you're the face of your business, Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank talks about it. She calls herself an expander. But as the face of her business, there are certain things in her business that only Barbara can do. Okay? Like, no one else on her team can kind of show up and be Barbara at an event and be like, oh, we're featuring Barbara Corcoran and here's staffer person. That's not how this works. So there are things that only Barbara can do. But while Barbara's out doing those things, her team is handling the rest of the business, the things that Barbara does not need to be involved in. Okay? Yes, there might be some final approvals, there might be some final decision making, but does she need to be the one getting those initial emails of XYZ out of the inbox? Not. Okay? So, thinking about that, and I'm sure Barbara, don't know her, but I'm going to speak for her right now. She realizes the importance or the value that her team brings to the situation. And so I'm going to start there because we're going to circle back to that when I get near the end. So one of the things that is quoted on page 73 is the most useful thing you can do for other people is appreciate their value. The most useful thing that you can do for others is appreciate their value. If you've been in an online space or even some other spaces, someone is like, I am looking for someone to come in, be my right hand, take care of all of my tech, make sure everything works, copyright for me, send out all of my emails, do my website, file my nails, order my groceries, get my hair done, this, that, and the other. Like, you're looking for a unicorn. Newsflash, they don't exist. Typically, we're trying to fit like 5 different positions into one, because why? We're being transactional. We're like, I have this and I need it to get done, so I'm willing to pay this to make that happen. Whereas if we were an investment-minded person, we'd say, how many tasks do we actually have here? What kind of buckets do they fall into? Do they fall into 3 different buckets where I need a personal assistant, an executive assistant, and someone with specialization in marketing? So I'm going to actually invest in all 3 of those, because then I know that I'm actually getting some people who are qualified in those areas, and not someone who is trying to either maybe possibly spread themselves so thin. And let's be honest, there are some of us who are multi-passionate. We are good at a lot of different things, but that does not mean that we should operate in all of those things. Even when you have several areas that you are good in, there are some areas that you are stronger in than others. Okay, like I could clean my house. It's a worthwhile endeavor. I've done it before. I can also invest in a who to clean my house, which frees me up with time in order to do things that only I can do. Okay? That investment, it's a team that might come in. So what they'll do in 2 hours or 2.5 hours would take me as one person trying to do it here, there, fitting it in while I'm also doing other things, might take me 4 hours. It might take me 4 days. And then I have to start all over again. The point is that investment in someone else to figure out if they're going to do it by themselves, if they're going to bring in a team and all the different parts of it, I can close that tab. I know when they're coming, how much they cost, what they're going to do, and I no longer have to be focused on that. So, understanding people's value and appreciating that value. Stop trying to have someone do 5 different areas in your business and then like, yeah, and I'm going to pay you $20 an hour. Say what? No, stop that. I want you to stop that, because then you're not appreciating their value. And quite honestly, you get what you pay for. I said it. I'm sorry. Not sorry. You know, we want these amazing skill sets, and then we don't want to do the investment that comes with those amazing skill sets, which means we're not appreciating other people's value, which will only attract for us those who also don't appreciate their own value or don't know their value. And then we have 2 sides of that coin that are both frustrated. So we're going to move on from that. So what, and that just really ties in to like thinking about, I was talking about not being able to think about that anymore. Like I don't have to think about the house and cleanliness. Okay, because let's be honest, there's decision fatigue. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a parent, if you're a business owner, if you're whatever, like there's decisions every day, all day, that everybody is like asking something of you, wanting to, what's your point on this, that, the other. It's exhausting. Like we all know the story of like how Steve Jobs would get up and he's like, black t-shirt, got some jeans, you know? It's one less decision. It's one less decision. Imelda Marcos, hey, I like this shoe. Let's get it in multiple colors. It's one less decision. I know the shoe fits. It's in the color. I have it in all the colors possible. So I know I have a pair that matches. You know, it's so we don't have to keep making all these decisions after decisions after decisions, because our brain does get tired. So I'm going to actually read a part from page 75. Until you free up your time, your mind will be caged. Until you free up your time, your mind will be caged. When you free up your time, you free up your mind. With a free mind, your thinking will go to a higher level. You'll have a greater belief in yourself. You'll entertain new and better thoughts. You'll have the time and energy to focus on self-improvement and further education, honing your skills and your craft. You'll have the time to work on innovating or expanding the vision or your services. That's what time does. Freeing up time actually also frees up mental space. And freed up mental space means that you are now able to have much more deep work. Oh gosh, Cal. I can't remember his last name. Amazing book on deep work. But having that freed up mind allows you to have better thoughts, deeper thoughts about your business, about life. You know, and those thoughts can expand your vision of what you're doing. It can also expand, like, how is it that we can serve differently? How is it that I can show up in a different way for my clients? That's a deeper way that actually gives them more impact. You can't do that. You can't have those thoughts if you are the one. I'm checking the emails. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I've done this. Your brain is tired. Your brain is sleepy. It's like, no more decisions, please. I don't have any more space or capacity. So that's why it's important to free up time. But with that, let's be honest, we also need pressure in our lives and in our businesses in order to obviously sometimes get things done. Some of us work much better when there's a deadline. Putting something on the calendar, verbalizing it to someone else that, hey, on October 30th, I'm going to do XYZ. Then they're like, hey, it's October 20th. How are you coming with that? You're like, oh crap. Like, seriously, I've said it. I need to do it. And so pressure comes with those deadlines, okay? So after we freed up our mind and we've had these amazing thoughts, don't just let them be thoughts. Don't let it stop and end and die there in thought land. All right, what's that next step? Put it on the calendar. Tell it to someone, your biz bestie, your mentor, someone to keep you accountable. Put it out there. And then start moving forward, because now you have freed up time and you have some who's in your life who are able to help you make that come to fruition. So definitely do that. Put on the pressure on yourself by putting things on a deadline. Oh, I know. You thought I forgot where I was going, right? And next thing that I thought was interesting, and this is something I always share with my clients, is the importance of having a clear vision. Okay. Numerous businesses, more than I'd like to actually say, do not have a mission statement, don't have a vision, and in many cases, they don't have defined core values. No mission, no vision, no core values. Why is this important is what you're sitting there saying. Like, my mission is to make money. That's not your mission. That is one of your goals. It might be a byproduct, okay, of what you do. But that is not your mission. And you need to have a mission. You need to have a vision. Where is your business going? What is the actual greater good that you are trying to achieve? Like, what is that? If you can distill it down into one sentence, what would it be? What would it be? But by having that clear vision, that is what you do as a leader, and you share it with your team or the who's, okay? And that allows for that buy-in. That buy-in is necessary, because if people don't know where they're going, how are they getting there? How do you know when you've gotten there? Like, you don't want to bring who's into your business and they're pretty much like going around aimlessly, like, oh yeah, I think this is the direction we're going. Yeah, it's over there. Oh no, it's over there. Oh, I don't know where it is. You as the leader need to have a vision. You need to have a vision. It's one of the first things I do with my clients with the operations audits is, hey, let's stop before we even dig into all of your systems and things of that sort. What's your mission, vision, and values? What are they? Okay, these are important things. And just human nature. People who work for you, with you, they want to know what that vision is. They also want a level of autonomy that comes with that. That's where we talk about the how. Your job as the leader, share the vision and then get out the way, please. Get out the way. Because the team is the one who will make that how part of it get there. They don't need you to be the one to say, oh, did this happen and this happen and this happen? Because then you've defeated the whole purpose of freeing up your time. You freed up your time only to find yourself back doing the same things, because either A, you don't really trust them and you're not really sure that they're going to do it and you're just not really ready to let go, or B, you don't trust yourself. Because you don't trust yourself that you actually made the right decision in who you hired in order to take on that task. So whether it's A or B, or A and B, okay, you have to get yourself to that point of make the vision and get out the way. Skedaddle, be gone. And let the team own that and move it forward. They're the experts in that. And if you hired correctly, That's a whole nother conversation. They'll be able to make it happen. Will it sometimes be the exact same way that you would have done it? Nope. But that's okay. Because as we talked about before, was the goal to get it done, or was the goal to do it the way that you would have it done? I know. There's some freedom you got to let go of right there, right? Some control that you have to say, okay, they didn't do it the way I would have done it, but it actually got done and it was probably better than you would have done it. Eat the humble pie and keep it moving. Okay? So, you also have to, though, set success criteria for the team. People want to know that they're meeting their goals. People want to know, like, oh, I'm checking off, like, what my KPIs are for my position. Those are good boundaries. They're like the bumper guards, like when you know kids are little and you put those up on the bowling alley so their balls don't go in the gutter. You don't want your team in the gutter. You don't want them feeling like they're in the gutter. Okay, and as a leader, that's where you need to step in and make sure that there are clearly defined goals. What are their boundaries? What are they going towards? Okay, so those success criteria will be those measurements, which are boundaries, which are super helpful. Okay, and people like that. Boundaries plus like clarity create motivation. Like, I know where I'm operating in. I know where I'm going because they've given me a vision. I'm super motivated and I'm getting there. Okay, and people need like clarity and simplicity in order to be motivated. Like, don't think that there's like intrinsic, motivation and extrinsic motivation. And a lot of times people are like, oh, they're motivated by money. People are often attracted to work with you because of who you are, how you present yourself, and also because of what you do. And so, yes, the money is important because, like, nobody's working for free. But a lot of times they're attracted to your mission, your vision, your values. They're attracted to you. And they want to be a part of what you are creating. And so that motivation is there to work with you. But you need to still give them boundaries. You need to still provide clarity. You still need to show up as a leader. So I am going to, let's see here. There was another part that I wanted to share. And it kind of goes back to, let me see here. We were talking about investments and transactional kind of thought process. So I'm going to share two things and then I'm going to wrap up for this part too. So our page 100, the quote is, our culture has brainwashed us into avoiding cost rather than making powerful investments in ourselves and our futures. I talked about that in the beginning. Your investments in your team, your who's, are investments in yourself. And really they're investments in your future. I am not one of those to say go into a ton of debt so that you're investing in yourself. And by, buying more team than you can afford. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But when the opportunity presents itself, because one of the things I see often is people say, I will invest in a team member when I'm fully booked out, or I will invest in a team member when I have like a full roster of clients. Oftentimes what's stopping you from the full roster of clients or being fully booked out is because you haven't already hired. Because you're finding yourself doing those low-level activities that don't have a high return on investment. Where you could be spending time on much higher value activities, which actually would lead you to being booked out. But you've waited too long to hire because you feel that in order to hire, you need to have a fully booked out roster. Does that make sense? I can do it again. So you need to hire before you have the fully booked out roster of clients. Because that hire, that investment is what will free up your mind, what will free up your time so that you are able to secure the additional clients you're looking for. And so waiting until you get to that point typically means that you probably don't have all of the systems and process that you would even feel comfortable servicing a full load of clients. You don't feel that your pricing is actually where it needs to be because it probably is too low, but you don't feel confident in charging more because you don't have systems in place in order to handle the load and actually deliver on what you say you can deliver in a way that still aligns in integrity with yourself. By not hiring, you've also, in many cases, find yourself, you're already underpriced, you're already overworked, and not feeling like the systems are in place. And you're actually still feeling some sort of angst about, hey, am I actually collecting enough data from my clients to actually show that what I'm doing is effective? Yeah. So there's a whole lot of other mindset things that you're like allowing to build up and allowing to happen by not hiring because you're waiting until you're fully booked. We can talk about that. So, in closing for this part, when you're investment minded, you're not short term in your thinking. So when you're investment minded, you are not short term in your thinking. This is page 104. You consider the bigger picture and you look at how you can help the right people without coming across as transactional. If you're cost minded, then by nature, you're transactional minded and you're short term focused. I want a unicorn, $20 to do all of these things. You'll see who's as a cost, which means you'll never be able to create the brilliant collaborations that are possible. Who's, when selected properly to fit within your vision, are never a cost. Who's are an investment. If you're investment minded, then you will be transformational in your relationships, including the relationship you have with yourself. You'll be long-term focused. You'll see that by investing in who's, your future can dramatically grow. By shifting your focus from cost to investment, you stop worrying about what you're giving up and instead realize that by making powerful decisions, you can make enormous gains. So, my question is, are you investment minded or are you cost minded? You don't have to answer me, but you should answer yourself. And if you find yourself more cost minded, what will it take for your mindset to shift that you are more investment minded? If you already are investment minded, snaps for you. Good job. Now keep yourself that way and help others get to that point. So again, the book is Who Not How by Dan Sullivan of Strategic Coach and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. If you haven't read it, you should definitely read it. Let me know if you want part 3. Like, I've finished the book. I'm also reading some other books. So let me know, though, if you're looking for a part 3. And we can kind of see what happens. All right? I hope everyone has an amazing time. Let me know. Bye.